This is obviously at least 30 years, probably like 40 years after Tyranny of Dragons.
Mm.
But also it would have to go after Descent into Avernus also.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's see. This is Elias Cast's Magnificent Mansion. We spend the night in Elias's mansion. It's got Romans / hellish to architecture, and can change it at will. And Elias can change it at will. We discussed a game plan against Barbula. Sharp Eye and Clyde get drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm exposed to Zone of Truth, and Clyde is exposed to True Sight. Is that still affecting us? I don't think so. No.
No. It was only until you took your long rest.
We have Clyde and Elias have a discussion about the contract or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And Elias gives Clyde an offer he can't refuse.
Too bad he refused it.
Too bad he refused.
Yeah, I refuse it.
Both Cece and Clyde are not on contract.
Mhm.
We reached the port city that is like a gate town to Monaros. We get we get Pokeballed. Sharp Eye and Clyde get Pokeballed.
Mm.
Oh yeah, the wall of force around the both of you, so you wouldn't do respectively stupid things.
I
Oh,
think
right.
I think one of the curses that's affecting Sharp Eye procced or something.
Yep.
One of the many curses.
Mm-hmm.
Sharp Eye makes Equinsu make sure he doesn't take all the treasure when we find it. For reasons. Clyde turns to alcoholism to solve his werewolf problems. Doesn't sound like a good idea, but like, sure. The bartender in Elias's Magnificent Mansion is named Fairbank, or no, that was in Equinsu's Magnificent Mansion. Why is both our wizards in the party like E names? Equinsu, Elias.
Elias was
Quentin,
created
you
long
did
before.
We reach Monaros. It's gross.
Yep.
We need to go
Called
to
the
the.
sinking city for a reason.
We're going to the Bazaar of Flesh, or we're in the Bazaar of Flesh.
You're in the Bazaar of Flesh.
Let's see. We meet a shark devil who suggests her name is Rosario. She's an assassin who can guarantee a kill.
Mm-hmm.
Bound by contract.
Guaranteed to kill to the best of her ability.
Well, she also guaranteed other skills. We signed a contract to get some recon on Barbula's compound.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We asked for guard times, a map of the place, possible schedule for guards and Barbula. And it's Ilario.
Is the contract holder. Was the bark
Yeah.
for Rosario.
Ilario tells us to go to the sunken log to wait for intel, and I think that's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Sharp Eye, Raheem, and Clyde took the infernal joint. If that means anything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. I asked you to indicate. I asked you to remember if you had taken the infernal joint.
Beautiful. What could go
Yeah,
wrong?
yeah.
And that's when the session ended. We took the infernal joint,
We forgot about
Oh,
which I
I
imagine
did too.
was. I think it's just a pen. We just think it's weird.
It's a. It's a pin made out of infernal iron.
I'm sure everything's fine. Getting a little high.
And it glows on one end like a cigarette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It looks like an old school, vape like you used to use to try and quit smoking. Okay. Cool. Wonderful. As you make your way through the Bazaar of Flesh, you see in the other levels of hell, in the larger cities that you've visited, you've seen all manner of depravity on display and for sale. In the Bazaar of Flesh, there are soul auctions, open air torture sessions. As you walk by, making your way to the sunken log, you see someone strapped to a table. And you're a little confused for a moment. And you realize what you're really seeing is halves of two different someones that have been strapped to a table. A top half and a top half of two different people.
Oh.
And they're
that's
being
great.
kept alive by magical means, likely. As a quasit hops between them and stitches their torsos together at the middle.
Huh. Like a cat dog situation.
Yes, like a cat dog situation, exactly. Exactly.
A cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Alone in the world with a little cat dog.
But I
Yep.
immediately thought
Yes.
towards me, cat dog. But I'm a cat dog.
Mm-hmm. You are a cat dog.
Oh, you are a cat dog.
Oh.
Shit. This is getting deep.
You see Naga doing performance art in which she swallows a whole live gnome.
What's that throat do?
There's a hat left out where you can give tips for the Naga as she swallows this entire live gnome.
I'll just drop a
Shackles
gold.
and all.
Weirdest thing I've seen today.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, second weirdest thing I've seen today. The cat dog, or I guess, person and another goddamn person, is a little disturbing.
I do not suggest that we should play the game of trying to find the most disturbing thing we can find here.
Is there I guess this is across the table. Is Nink here?
You've not made it to the sunken log yet. But the implication is that likely you would find, you've been told, well, I guess you haven't, but the party has been told that Ninky does have a franchise on every level of hell.
Yeah. We figured it would be here, but there's a chance it also could have been jangling hitter.
Yes. But you haven't made it to the sunken log to know that yet. As you say that, as Aquinsu says, I do not recommend we find the most disturbing thing here. One of the people in the crowd who's watching the Naga, who has the gnome most of the way down her throat at this point, and you can see the coil of her body sort of flex and groan as she swallows, and the gnome fights against it.
Help me! Help me! Help me!
Mm-hmm. One of the crowd speaks up, and you see a rather small, portly little devil. Horns curled up, red, very, very classic look for a devil. Like, this guy is leaning into it. Red, little goatee. He's dressed quite smartly. A monocle, even. Waistcoat. Gold pocket watch. Those of you with high perception will notice that the pocket watch is not telling accurate time, or at least not telling any kind of time that you are familiar with. it appears to have 4 hands. Uh-huh. He says, well, really, if you're looking for the most disturbing thing in the market, you have to go down the